Well, what's going on, everybody? My name is Andy and welcome to the Game Week 36 preview. We've only got 3 game weeks left now, 36, 37, 38, and then we're done. So we are at the end of the business end of the season. There's just this game week, then a double game week to come, and then the final game of the season. So lots to talk about today. Obviously, we had 3 hit last week in game week 35. We've seen Man City absolutely annihilate a team. Salah still on form, done really well in the Champions League. So we're going to talk about all that as usual, go through the points for the game week, and then I'll take you through my team and kind of the transfers that I'm looking at making. So we'll just jump straight into it, and we'll go through the points for game week 36. So this is my team as it stands. Obviously, I have 3 hit in game week 35. Got 67 points, so I was pretty happy with that. Maybe made a couple of mistakes. I should have made a few better picks, but most of that's hindsight now. I'm happy with that. I went from like 25,000. I was just inside the top 26k, I think, and now I'm just inside the top 16k. So it was a 10k jump in rank, getting quite close to the top 10k now. So I'm happy with that. Obviously, I didn't re-inherit my previous game week 34 teams. There's possibly some players in there that I need to look to get rid of. But I'll talk about that in a sec once we go through the points. So yeah, 67 points, just inside the top 16k now. So on for a good finish. Hopefully I can finish well. Still got my triple captain for game week 37, maybe even game week 38, but we'll discuss that another time. So first up is Salah. Obviously Anfield Express, at Anfield Express on Twitter, has been really kind to us the last few weeks because they're releasing the team. They're letting us know if Salah's going to play, and it makes our decisions easy now. As a kind of side note, I'd like to know your thoughts on kind of Anfield Express, and of course that's helping us, but at the same time it kind of takes a decision away from us. We're waiting for that to come in before we make any decisions, and of course part of being an FPL manager is to get as much news as possible to get ahead of the competition, but is getting the whole team sheet just a step too far. I mean, if we had that for every match, FPL would be quite boring. I know it's frustrating sometimes when you make a pick, like people went for Ozil last week because it looked like he was going to play and then suddenly he was ill. That's just unlucky. I think getting the team sheet every week does spoil things a little bit, but let me know what your thoughts are on that. But either way, Salah, obviously I've not got rid of him. If he's going to play, he's going to be my captain. If there's any inclination that or if I've got any inclination that he's not going to start, or Anfield Express think he's not going to start, then I may get rid of him because although he's got Chelsea away next week and I think he could do well in that, I'd rather back a midfielder that's got 3 games over the next 2, such as a Man City midfielder. So there's a chance I sell him, but I'm definitely going to want him back for that game week 38 Brighton at home game, where I expect he'll play, and he could go mad. People are even talking about if there's no good triple captain option in 37, if Kane's not got his shooting boots on, that they might captain Salah in game week 38 instead, which is quite an interesting move. Some people have got multiple chips left as well, which might be the reasoning, but some people have just got triple captain and they're still considering doing that. So Salah for me not going anywhere. I definitely want him for the Stoke game. Then I wouldn't bet against him scoring against Chelsea. Of course, you'd probably rather have a Man City mid just for that single game week, but we've got to think broadly. There's still 3 game weeks left, so I think people who haven't got Salah are kind of maybe a little bit annoyed about that now, because obviously Liverpool got quite a good lead in the Champions League. He came off early as well. He came off on like 70-ish minutes, which means Klopp probably wants to play him in the next game. But of course, those 2 late away goals for Roma have really helped possibly non-owners, because now he might not be able to risk it. But top 4 is not guaranteed, so I think Klopp's going to have to play mostly a strong team. Don't think he's got too much in the reserves. He's got Solanke and Ings obviously that could play up top, but the squad's getting a bit stretched. They don't have a really kind of deep squad that they can go into and pull players from. So I'd expect maybe 1 or 2 of the front 3 to get potentially rested, but I wouldn't be surprised if they all play. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But they're not the same team as soon as one of that top 3 misses out, one of the front 3 misses out, and they can't afford to drop more points because Chelsea aren't too far behind, and Chelsea have to play Liverpool. If Chelsea win that game, then it gets really kind of squeaky bum time for Liverpool. So we'll see how it goes. Salah stays for me. Which Man City? This is probably the biggest question of the week. Obviously, Man City won 5-0 last week. Kind of any of their midfielders look good. A lot of people saying Salah now because he missed out last week. That's fair enough. He probably would start this week. Then is he going to keep starting in the next 2? Maybe. We just don't know. I almost think with Man City, you just got to pick 1 or 2 or even 3 and just stick with them. Obviously, the beauty of them is in game week 37 is they'll probably beat most of the single game weekers anyway, just because of the fixtures of Huddersfield and Brighton at home. So even in one fixture, they could easily outscore the rest. And there's potential to get minutes or even a second game in the other game as well. So I think Man City mids for me, definitely. I think Sterling's definitely the first one on my list. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring any in this week. I'm still considering it because I feel like this week might give us the info we need to make a kind of more informed decision. Like if Sterling suddenly gets rested, then maybe he's had his rest. Sané plays, then we know that he had his and now he's back in. David Silva and De Bruyne are arguably maybe the two most nailed on. They've both played the more minutes than Sterling and Sané. In fact, Silva's played more minutes than Sterling, which I thought was quite surprising because Silva's obviously been missing out with family and stuff. So he's had plenty of rest, definitely doesn't need one. Man City's still chasing records. So I think they're going to play mostly full-strength teams. I think the likes of Foden, Yaya Toure and that, they're going to play. But I think it's going to be mostly coming off the bench. And obviously in the Huddersfield at home game in Game Week 37, they get the trophy. So you'd expect a full-strength side there to Pep kind of give them a last kind of run out and thank you from the fans and all that stuff. So for me, it's Sterling number one. I mean, De Bruyne is still quite expensive. I don't know if many people can fit him in. Silva's quite attacking. Assist potential, goal potential. Nice cheap price at 8.2 million as well. So for me, I'm looking at the three, Jesus, Sterling and Silva. I think Jesus up front. One of the things you've got to consider now is ownership. So while they might not be like kind of as well owned as Salah is, they're going to become more and more owned by the active managers. They're in the top 100k, and you'll start to find that players like Jesus, Sterling, Silva, De Bruyne, their ownership's going to rocket up in the top kind of 10k, 100k. So my thinking with them is, will they miss a game? Maybe. Do I really care? Probably not. If I let my rivals have them and I don't get them in, and I'm stuck with kind of Vardy and Mahrez, they're not going to punish me, whereas not having a City player is. And I think giving a differential like Jesus and Sterling to someone else is not what I want to be doing. I don't want to give the players that I'm chasing, kind of the 15,854 players ahead of me, I don't want to give them the advantage of having Man City players. So for me, definitely got to get them in. Whether you take hits this week, I don't know, because they're playing West Ham away. Will they blow them over? Possibly, we don't know. I mean, they're going to score. They score in every single game, but I don't know if it's going to be another 4 or 5-0. It could be. We'll have to see what happens. But I don't know if a huge amount of points hits is worth it this week. We could go for one more week and just risk it and hope they don't do too much damage before bringing them in Game Week 37. Of course, you've got to consider price rises and stuff as well. I wouldn't be chasing too much value at this point in the season. But at the same time, if you're going to get priced out of a move, you definitely can't do it. Then you might want to consider bringing them in this week for sure. So yeah, kind of touched on ownership there. It is something I look at this stage of the season. At this rank, I don't want to take too many risks now. I want to get into the top 10k. I feel like I've got the chip left, triple captain, 3 more weeks to do it. Sensible planning, sensible transfers in. Hopefully Harry Kane gets his shooting boots on. And then obviously we go from there. So for me, it's kind of low risk at this point. If you're chasing, then maybe you go out without a Man City player. Maybe you get Sané because everyone else is looking at Sterling. You could try that. But you've got to be prepared that he may get just as rested as the rest, if not more, over the coming weeks. And then let's talk about Harry Kane really quick. Obviously, he's not been in good form. Came back from injury early. All this social media stuff. He claims the goal. He gets a load of stick for that. The FA are having a pop at him because of the FA Cup semi-final, saying that Smalling had him in his back pocket. You don't know how he's taken that. He might be made of stronger stuff. Maybe he doesn't care about it. Maybe it's literally just the injury. Maybe he's just not in great form right now. It does happen to even the best. He said himself he's still got 2 goals in 4 games. We know he's on penalties. He's going to start. You'd imagine he starts the last 4 games without question. Spurs don't have top 4 wrapped up, etc. just yet. So definitely going to play this week. The thing I want to see this week is not necessarily him get a brace or a hat-trick. I just want to see him play better. I want to see his shots taken increase. That's all down. His stats are all down. When you watch him, he just doesn't look on it. He looks like a player that's just come back from injury, who also doesn't cope well with coming back from injury. So I'm not too keen on him. Right now, I've got the captain on him. That's almost certainly going to change to Salah. Unless I know that Salah is 100% out, I'll probably switch back. Otherwise, Kane will be my captain. But I think Salah's the number 1. But Kane against Watford, he does well against them. Watford are not in great form. They're conceding a lot of goals. It could be the match to captain Kane while everyone else is looking at Salah. Potentially, you could get a bit of a rank increase because of that. But obviously, it's always a risk not to captain Salah just because of the form he's in. So Harry Kane, hoping he does well. He was going to be my triple captain in Game Week 37. Right now, if it was Game Week 37 this week, I don't think I'd be captain. I'd be too worried about his performances to do it. Obviously, he's got nice fixtures, West Brom away and Newcastle at home, I think it is. Or possibly the other way around, Newcastle away and West Brom at home. But either way, he's playing those 2 teams, which is great fixtures. Generally, they've got nothing really to play for. West Brom are down and out. Newcastle, I don't know if they're on the beach, but they've secured Premier League for another year, so they'll be happy with that. So yeah, Kane was going to be my triple captain, but right now I don't know if he's going to be. So I need to see something from him this week. I'm not super confident with him, but it is Harry Kane, the man that got back-to-back hat-tricks a few game weeks ago. So obviously not counting him out just yet. And then Alonso is a pain for me. This week I don't really need him. If Long's going to play, if Ben Mee is out still, then I don't really need Alonso. I'm happy enough with double Burnley defence and Vertonghen. He's a lot of money, Alonso. Chelsea fans are saying that Emerson's played well. They think he's going to get one more game before the end of the season. You'd think that would be in the double game week, possibly the Huddersfield game, which would be the one that you'd want Alonso for. Chelsea are not keeping clean sheets. Yes, Alonso is attacking, of course, we all know that. But the reason he's kind of a £7+ million defender is because he gets clean sheets and he gets attacking returns. I think if you're just relying on attacking returns from a defender, then you're probably in trouble. You need those defensive points for when he doesn't get attacking returns to kind of top him up to make him worth that money. So I'm looking at getting rid, I think. I don't need to do it this week, and I'm not 100% sure on my transfers. I just don't know if he's going to play both games. I don't know if Chelsea are going to keep clean sheets. There's a lot of money. There's Man City players I really want to bring in. Obviously, Alonso could punish me, but you'd imagine Liverpool will score against them. They'll put a full strength side out, and then that's the clean sheet straight away. So you expect an attacking return against Liverpool, and then he might not play against Huddersfield. So I don't know. What do you think about Alonso? Is he going to play 2 games? Has Emerson been that good that he's going to come in and take Alonso's place for one of those games? I don't know. If there's any Chelsea fans that got better insight than me, it'd be good to know. But I think there's a chance he misses out, and that chance is enough to worry me into selling him. And I've got to be honest as well. He's quite a good player to. He's quite an easy way to downgrade and get money. There's not many other players that I want to downgrade to raise funds, and I probably need it to do Man City players. So for me, it's a little bit different with Alonso. It's not just a straight case of I want to get rid of him because he's awful. It's just that he's not in great form, could miss a game, and I could do with the money. So kind of all tots up. So it depends obviously on your team value and stuff like that, how much you got in the bank, your team structure. You may not need to do it. But yeah, I think I'm going to sell Alonso, and I am worried about it because there's a bit of fear factor with him with his attacking returns, but at some point he's got to go, and I got to risk it at the end of the season. Obviously I said before I wasn't going to take too many risks, but maybe this is one that I can afford to take, and it's kind of more of a calculated risk, so we'll see how that goes. I've already spoken about captain, so I won't talk about that too much more. It's going to go on Salah. So my transfers for this week, I want a Man City player. I can't afford to do Mahrez to Sterling because I think I'm 0.1 or 0.2 million off of it. So if anyone's got the money to do that, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Mahrez has been out of form. In fact, his last returns were the match when Leicester got to 40 points. So you could read into that. I don't know if there's too much in it because Vardy scored 3 goals since then. But Mahrez has been completely off form. Like Leicester have just... They're safe in the Premier League, doesn't need to perform now, not really playing for anything. I thought maybe he'd be playing for a transfer in the summer, but I'd say if he wanted to go, people will buy him anyway. So Mahrez to Sterling looks no-brainer. I could do Mahrez to David Silva, but then I think I'm just getting him because I can't get Sterling, so maybe I just give myself another week to think about it. I'm not sure this team will survive with kind of Mahrez and Vardy and Willian for another week, but I may have to just risk it. So I want Jesus. Can't obviously do that in a straight swap for Vardy. So just to kind of let you know what I'm thinking, Alonso, Mahrez and Vardy out for Smalling, I think Sterling and Jesus. I think that I can just about afford that. So that's what I'm looking at maybe doing next week. Willian's a bit of a pain. He's at an annoying price point. I could get an Arnautovic, but that's another transfer for a team where I've only got 2 game weeks to go, obviously to the double, this one and next. So I've only got 1 transfer because of the free hit. So I basically got 2 transfers to turn this around before taking points hits. So I can't really be affording to do the likes of Barnes to Jordan Ayew or Willian to Arnautovic because I've got to find the funds to get Man City players in. So I'm in a bit of a tricky spot with that. And the free hit potentially, although it did well, obviously now I'm stuck with only 1 transfer. So we'll see how it goes. I think this week I may just stick. At the most, I'll probably do Mahrez to David Silva and then worry about how to get Sterling in the next week, as well as Jesus. Willian... He hasn't performed, good stats, but he just hasn't delivered. Hit the bar in the FA Cup, was obviously saved for that match because he got benched the one before, was saved because he's part of their first 11 now, so that's possibly a good thing, but I think Conte did say he's looking to play Giroud and Morata together more, so maybe that means Willian comes out of the team. It depends what formation they play and what personnel he wants, but he is a bit of a worry for me now. And even Lingard, I don't know if he's going to play every game. He's in as a cheap player who may play the last 4 games of the season, but I don't know for definite. So my team's in a bit of a troubling spot. I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure what to do this week, but I think I may stick. Go into next week with 2 transfers and maybe take a big hit like an 8 or a 12, just to completely refresh my team for the double. Bring in the players that people are going to get to kind of almost block them from being able to hurt me, and then hopefully climb the ranks with a triple captain. So we'll have to see what happens there. That's my plan. That's the end for this preview. Let me know what you think about my team, what transfer you think I should make, what transfer are you making. Let me know on the kind of points that I've gone through, what your thoughts are on those, especially the Anfield Express one. That would be good to know. Otherwise, I'll leave this video here. There'll be a stream. This is going to go out on Wednesday night, probably quite late. There'll be a stream on Thursday at 9:30 PM UK time, so tune into that. And obviously subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it, it'd be much appreciated. Leave a comment below, as always, appreciated. And I can't even say like, comment, share, subscribe, because I've basically just said that. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Good luck in Game Week 36, and hopefully I'll see you on the stream. Cheers all.